Welcome back from the break. It's still New Day on TV3. Before this, you saw Bella and her guests give a very, very interesting discussion on oral sex and its implications on our health. Very interesting indeed. Right now, we're talking about the entertainment industry and longevity therein. You see, over the years, you realize that Ghana births a lot of creative artists. However, after some time, we don't really know where they are. We don't know what happens to them. What is the reason? We are discussing all of these and the solutions as well. Joining me with to discuss these, we have Yemi Baba in the studio. Yemi, you're welcome. An award-winning celebrity blogger and communications specialist.
Yes,
welcome.
I don't add award-winning for my title.
You said it yourself.
And
then also Lexis, who's the social media manager of Media General. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Looking dashing in your blue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we get on straight to discussions. Before we do, I want us to understand a bit of what the weather of the entertainment industry looks like in Ghana right now. So, I mean, we're taking it from theater to film, dancing. What is the current state of our entertainment industry?
I think the biggest thing is that the issue of us putting value to what we do here is the challenge. And so we find people in music, in movies, in theater, who are doing incredibly well in their field. But in terms of generating funds to be able to make those things become a bit more of an internationally valued substance is what the challenge is. And so you see people who sing, who do incredibly well. Stonebwoy, Sarkodie, Shatawale and the likes. But the challenge is, how do we bridge what we're doing in Ghana into the international field? Is that, how are you able to get people who are on the stages of the Grammys, the Oscars, to be able to see the substance that you have in your music or in your movies? And that has always been the challenge. It's not a challenge in terms of the intellect, it's not the challenge in terms of the movies. The challenge primarily has been in terms of reach, in money, and the biggest one of all of them is the platform. So we're doing, I think we're doing well. Our movies are doing well. Our songs are doing well. The only challenge is that we don't have money to back it. We don't have the platforms, and we don't have the people who are able to carry it from Ghana to the international world.
Sorry, make I add something. We have people to do all those things, a lot of those things, but one of the biggest challenges in Ghana, or one of the biggest challenge, you know, having seen different places and being in Ghana, Ghanaians don't believe in Ghana.
Tell us more about that.
Believe. I think until you start believing in your own, until you start supporting your own, until you understand that without your own thriving, you can't thrive, then you remain where you are. Even if they made them bring the whole billion for this world, when the people no believe waiting, we're in a country where you see people they won't die when they see Oyibo telenovela. I not talk say bad, I not talk say but left to me until we start to they believe in our own thing, they produce in our own thing, they chop on our own thing. Who will come outside can't believe for our own stuff. So I think the key thing for me is believe.
Is believing in
Ghana.
In Ghana. Okay. All right. Quick one. How do you think our artists come on the scene? How do you think they emerge? How do you think they get the attention that we give them?
In Ghana, it's like merry-go-round. One artist go just, you know, once he's there, then he think maybe he's even heard only in Accra, but he may not know. Because I've gone to some regions in this Ghana, one party like that, then play some artists where I think say it should be a big act. The people there, they were not responding. Then I said, what's the problem? Don't you know this guy? He's a big star in Accra. They were like, you know, they didn't give that. So some artists, because of what I've been doing, you see, say this artist will come out, they will just bring this particular one, then push him a bit. I think that's how it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Then they will just do small social media noise. When you get like 5,000, 10,000 followers, you think you have become a star. Then during December, you know, like from this time going to December, some shows will come up, and then they'll go and do some one or two free thing, and then people will jump and shout to them, and the things that they don't arrive.
Like it looks like you.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is structure.
Okay.
Is that, again, the talent is undeniable. People who come onto the scene by virtue of a viral instance have talent. The thing is, because they don't belong to, in the form of musicians, they don't belong to a record label. And so there's no proper due diligence that comes in a structure form that allows them to be able to break into the other regions. And so you find someone who's a bigger star in Kumasi.
Right.
But because they don't have a management team that sits with them and says that, hey, we're doing practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, which is we're moving from this region and going to the other 10 regions in this format, 916, in this format. All they do have to rely on is social media and speaking to presenters one-on-one. And so there is no cognizant sort of structure that allows people to be able to say that, okay, in quarter 1, this is what we are doing. In quarter 2, this is what we are doing. In quarter 3, this is what we are doing. Because there isn't that structured value or platform that they are going off on, it's difficult for you to be able to sustain the kind of viral moment that you have. And so the very key example is someone like Sarkodie. When he burst into the scene via Kasari on Adam FM, what he did was sit down with people and have a structure. Is that we are not going to oversaturate the market with Sarkodie music. It's going to be done in a very careful manner. And that is what has sustained Sarkodie till this point. A very key example again is Kwesi Arthur. He's done incredibly well. But you notice that even the pacing of his songs, when he's releasing them, the outlets that he's using, how he's using very core organic people to be able to push his music is what is giving him value right now. So the challenge is there is that we don't have a proper structure that allows people to be able to understand that in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, this is what we are bringing out. And so you see people fizzle out. And it's not because they're not good. There are people who do very good music, who do very good movies, but because there's no form of structure, they all fizzle out at some time.
Speaking of talent, do you think that our artists are they are passion driven or they just do it for popularity?
I think it's a combination of both. The passion is there. People who pay value to go to studios to go and sing songs. People who pay to go on set to go and act movies actually do have a passion in what they're doing. The other challenge is that a lot of the time we are caught in the popularity and the fame. People want the instant gratification that comes with being on TV or being on radio or being heard on their phones. And so they do not necessarily understand that for me to be able to sustain this popularity or this fame that I have, it needs to come in a very careful, gradual instance. People just want things in a very quick manner. And so a very key example, like we were saying, Offset is Shatta Bundle. Is that he's everywhere now, and people are enjoying.
So that's Shatta Bundle. How do you term him? Is he celeb, star? What will he be?
No, there's a place for him. He's a social media sensation. Yeah, there's a place for him. But because it's all over the place, not much of the time.
Sorry, I'm not talking to that boy. Do the important too, but I can bear my mind. If you talk what I want to. We get important issues and things. The media and people should be promoting and pushing and celebrating. I don't tire for this kind of thing. That's the same thing we are saying here.
No, but you see, the entertainment industry is big enough to be able to occupy everybody. Everyone has a seat at the table. Is that we tend to. We get bought into the clicks and the likes and everything else. And as media houses, sometimes we are also found in that same blame game. Is that too many times you are caught in how many people are visiting your website, how many people are liking your stuff on Instagram to be able to give you money so that you're able to get money from advertising and marketing deals. And so if Shatta Bundle is going to give me 10,000 likes per one video, why do I have to waste time on other people who might give me like 200 likes? And so is us having an honest conversation with ourselves and saying that how much of our entertainment time do we give to Shatta Bundle? How much do we give to other people who are doing other things? Because trust me, we also need comedic value for us to be able to laugh. We can't always be listening to songs that inspire us or anything. We need someone who comes onto the scenes and says things that gives you to be able, like 5 o'clock in the office, something you can listen and laugh. You don't always have to be serious.
So Yeri, do you think that these likes and social media attention affects the quality of the work that our artists are bringing out?
Yeah, because
in what way?
It does, and sometimes it's also good because as my brother said, when you go to a corporate body that wants to sponsor or use you for endorsement or something, they first of all go to your because right now we are talking about social media because that's like the order of the day now.
Yeah.
So, but it gets to a point that it's not just about that. It shouldn't be about that. You know, when we look at a lot of superstars in this Ghana who have really, who are doing extremely well, someone like Nanama McBrown.
Yeah.
Nanama McBrown started when there was no, if I'm wrong, you can correct me because I don't know Ghana well, but Nanama McBrown, she's been celebrated before this era. And now in this era, you see, say her value don't, it makes more sense because, you know, from the Omotola and Co, they were superstars, Genevieve, Omoto, they were not, they didn't come out of social media. Now, one of the biggest problem is, if this social media is, this likes and followership and everything, which some people say they buy, if it's taken away from you, or if it's no more there. Some time ago I was saying, so if Instagram shuts down for a day or a week, that is where, you know, they say when breeze blow, at that time fire nyash go open. That's where we know. So it's good to gain most of these followers and likes and everything, but you need to really work and show yourself, you know, make yourself approve that, yeah, truly, I can do without this.
Okay. I see that you had something to say?
No.
Okay. So I realized that normally in Ghana now, bad publicity seems to be the way to go right now. You have to go and do something controversial to be able to get the attention that...
No, that's the norm. That's what people think. People think bad publicity, but so, it shouldn't be so. That's not how it should be. Okay. Because a lot of celebrities are in this world, they've come out, they've showed good works. If you get better thing to do, you don't need to go and tell somebody, create bad publicity for me, or go nude. Or no, a lot of people in this world, they came out sincerely and we saw it.
But
so I don't believe in that bad publicity.
That is the ideal sense that we want things to go, is that you want people to follow, to come out more organically. Okay. But in this present state that we live in, you would, for you to be able to drive some kind of attention towards yourself, bad publicity is the easiest way for you to be able to go. Is that, and we've seen it in several instances.
But does it last?
No, that's what I'm saying. In the ideal sense, you want people to come out more organically for people to understand the true value of what they are bringing onto the scene. But if we're being a bit more realistic and pragmatic, is people find that bad publicity allows them to be able to thrive on the scene. Okay. You find people who pay bloggers to be able to say some very weird, condescending things about them.
Shallow-minded people now.
And in the click of a button, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And so you do not want to see people go that route. Yeah. But I mean, we've created an instance where that's the easiest way for you to be able to go. So you can't create a system and then blame people for using that same system to be able to get the fame and popularity that they seek to get.
So the last one before we leave, I want us to talk a bit about branding. How do you think that Ghanaians are branding themselves properly? Ghanaian artists are branding themselves properly? If not, what word of advice would you give to each one of them so that we can experience the longevity?
I think it comes in both ways. Okay. There are some Ghanaian artists who have branded themselves incredibly well. And again, I go back to someone like Sarkodie, someone like Kwesi Arthur, like Ken Promise. You find that because they belong on record labels, they've been able to structure their music in a way that allows them to be able to cross onto the international scene. So you see someone like Kwesi Arthur going to very big global markets and go to be able to break through. He's all over billboards in London, he's all over billboards in the US. And so for them, it is easy for you to see that branding is structured. Some other artists that we see in this country, or some other movie stars that we see in this country, take up every role. So every role is just put onto their lap and they take it. They don't consider the money, they don't consider the storyline, they don't even consider the image that comes with it. So there are some people who are doing the branding very well. There are some people who leave a lot to be desired of them. And you can't blame them as well. Is that who are the people going to coach them to be able to go in those same directions? And so, there are some people who are doing very well. I think it leaves room for people to be able to sit back, again, have an honest conversation with themselves and say that if I want to go in XYZ directions, what do I need to do? And you need to be able to speak to marketers, you need to be able to speak to brand strategists, you need to be able to speak to social media influencers, people who understand the terrain, for them to be able to give you tidbits, for you to be able to understand that, okay, in 2 years, this is the direction we're going.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might not go well for you.
Okay.
There might be some instances where you might not get the fame that you're looking for in that 2 years, but still stick to the formula.
Consistent, yeah.
In the end,
will
patience
come
is
through.
the key value.
Patience,
Like,
they need to be
once you stay
humble.
patient, and
Because
then
a lot of these artists in this country,
Yeah.
some are not humble.
Is that your final word? That they should be humble?
Yeah, they need to be humble and
Okay.
patient.
Okay.
Then what my brother has said can work in their
Out.
lives.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you so much. It has been a very fruitful discussion, if you ask me, with Lexis, social media manager at Media General, and Yemi Baba, the award-winning blogger. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sure we'll continue the conversation outside.